Man is missing in Alaska for weeks before rescuers spot clue in the snow. Rescue teams don't hold out a lot of hope when someone goes missing in an icy Alaskan forest. Few outcomes look promising. Did he freeze to death? Was he attacked by a bear? Each possibility is worse than the former. So when a diligent team of Alaskan state troopers received a call about a missing person, Tyson Steele, they knew the odds of a successful mission were low. A certain clue seen in the snow, however, convinced rescue workers he may not be lost forever. When the family and friends of 30-year-old Tyson Steele heard nothing from him in weeks, their minds started imagining the worst. It wasn't like him to ignore the people in his life. This was all too odd. They asked authorities for a welfare check to ease their minds. Alaska state troopers checked his secluded Alaskan cabin, his nearest neighbor being 20 miles away, but no one was there. Tyson lived alone in his remote Susitna Valley cabin since he purchased it from a Vietnam War veteran in September 2019. The introvert's only company was his 6-year-old chocolate lab, Phil. Miles and miles of forest, hills, rivers, and lakes separate him from the road system, read a report from the Alaskan state troopers. This was how Tyson liked it, away from the world, and that's why no one witnessed his terrifying ordeal. Tyson's nightmare began when he awoke in the middle of the night as he felt strangely chilly. He got up and fueled his nearby ancient wood stove with a giant piece of cardboard before hopping back into bed. This was a mistake. The hasty move sent a spark through his chimney, which then fell onto the cabin's roof. All while Tyson was fast asleep. He didn't wake up for some time. Hours later, he rose, cold again, to the sound of blazing drips of plastic coming through the roof above him. He rushed outside, only to witness a horrific sight. Tyson reached panic mode. His roof was up in flames. Tyson looked down to see his feet stuffed in boots short of socks, along with a pair of long johns under a wool sweater. He realized he had to act fast to grab more clothes and whatever else he could find before they turned to ash. He ran inside the burning cabin, grabbing whatever was sitting on his bed, which included heavy coats and sleeping bags. He had no time to think. As each second went by, the flames swallowed more and more of Tyson's life. After hurriedly exiting the cabin, Tyson called for Phil, who was somewhere inside. Tyson saw Phil leap off the bed, thinking the furry lab would make its way out of the fiery cabin. Tyson then ran to the other side of the cabin to fetch his rifle, which is when he heard growling. Tyson's heart sank. His beloved dog was caught in the flames, and there was nothing he could do but scream. He let out a visceral screech, nearly tearing his vocal cords. Tyson flooded with heavy sorrow. He stared as all his belongings, including his bullets, were completely engulfed by flames. The fire then reached Tyson's stored oils and grease tanks. Soon explosions went off here and there. In a fit of hysteria, Tyson did whatever he could to put the flames out, throwing snow at it like a madman. He worked to put it out until the sun finally rose. He eventually went through the remains of his life to see what he could salvage. He had no working phone and no car. It was a matter of merely surviving in the frosty woods. Tyson counted up whatever cans were salvageable, calculating he had approximately 2 cans a day for 30 days on rations. The aggressive flames popped open cans of food and partially melted jars of peanut butter. Everything tasted like black smoke, but Tyson was in no position to get picky. For the first 2 nights, he slept in a snow cave, which provided little warmth. He practically shivered himself to sleep. After Tyson could no longer take the icy snow cave, he built a tent-like structure out of tarps and remnants of lumber around his wooden stove. The same device that took all his belongings and his beloved dog. Tyson realized it was time to redirect his focus on getting rescued. He stomped giant letters in the snow, filling his tracks with black ashes to make them visible from an aerial view. He repeated this tedious process several times as snow continued to fall. After spelling out SOS, he spent days chiseling a path in the snow to a lake near his property where planes could land. He was terrified but hopeful that help was on its way. Eventually, after 3 grueling weeks enduring Alaska's harsh temperatures, Tyson looked up to see a helicopter circling above. He frantically waved his arms at the aircraft and soon felt a wave of relief. As Tyson sat at the Alaska State Troopers aircraft section hangar at Lake Hood, a cup of hot coffee warming his hands, rescuers took notice of his grisly appearance. His long hair was matted and damaged, his hands were rough and filthy, and his beard had grown to his chest. Really a terrifying prospect, and he just did an amazing job of thinking fast, thinking clearly, acting logically, and basically saving his life, said Ken Marsh.